just when you thought the dying dynasty was dead, they come back like a zombie style a little bit. That win over the Celtics was, if nothing else, a massive spirit lifter, 132-126 in overtime. Steph just going absolutely nuclear. No Porzingis in that game, which I'll highlight only because the next night he had his way with the Kings and routing Sacramento.
Well, Boston's doing this thing on back-to-backs where like they rest Horford on one side and Porzingis on the other. So they just picked Horford for the first game and Porzingis for the second, which I thought
right. But still, just a really strong win. I wasn't at that one. You obviously covered it, very well. Kind of in terms of substance level and meaningfulness in light of the Draymond Green drama and the mood around this team lately. How did you see it?
Well, look, I mean, like Steph didn't reveal anything to us, right? We know he remains a top 5. You'd probably say player in the league. You can definitely top 10. He played with 5 fouls for the entire fourth quarter and overtime, 7 straight minutes, and didn't pick up his 6th. So 15 in that stretch. Obviously, I assume you saw that moonball 3 he had, which is probably, that's like kind of his signature shot of the season. But again, like Steph Curry playing great is not a revelation. That isn't so. Oh wow, like what a turn for them. He's been great all season.
He's got potential. Yes.
Yeah.
I hear you.
What was, I don't know how revelatory you want to say it, but like I mean, anybody who's been following the Warriors this season knows there's this awkward transition going on where for the first year the young guys are actually playing better than the veterans in a lot of ways. Like Andrew Wiggins has been benched for Brandon Pajemski, a rookie. Jonathan Kuminga is currently starting for Draymond Green, who's obviously away for an indefinite amount of time. And then the other night, Kevon Looney, I think, is minus 19 in his 14 minutes. He's been a little bit ineffective to open the season. And Steve Kerr finally goes to Trace Jackson Davis, this rookie center who has flashed, intrigue. If anybody remembers Dale Davis, I'm sure you do, Sam Amick. Oh, you wily veteran. You're muted, but I can already tell you're hurting that
I was muted because I'm old and I couldn't figure out. I'm not old. I did not cover Dale Davis. Gosh,
but it is Dale Davis's son.
Yes,
and he was really good. And how did you watch it? I mean, he closed.
I don't know. But wasn't it perfect that I was about to yell at you for calling me old and then I couldn't unmute myself?
I know, and you couldn't even figure it out. But did you see his blocks? He had 2 blocks, one in overtime. He came over weak side and like stuffed Jaylen Brown on a dunk. That was like, you haven't seen a block like that from the Warriors since like the Andrew Bogut days, basically, or Draymond when he was in his prime still. So that it was just like that part of it was more interesting to monitor. Like, hey, like what are they going to go to this rookie center a lot more often moving forward? Steve Kerr says yes, so we'll see. They got Wizards Blazers coming up Friday, Saturday at home. If you get those 2, you go from 10-14 to 15-14 before the Christmas game in Denver. So we'll keep checking their pulse. Maybe there's a slight flicker right now. I wouldn't go fully cooked as Sam.
There's like a finger coming out of the dirt from the grave. Yes,
it's not full Undertaker busting out.
There's some gasping. Before we bring this other guy in, let's tie a bow on the Warriors talk because we do have a lot of ground to cover today. What is the updated intel on Draymond's indefinite suspension and how long you think he might be out?
Yeah, Shams reported obviously, at least another 3 weeks. He did that early this week, put that out, as he's kind of in counseling and away from the team. The Warriors have said he can be around practice, he can be around the facility, but he really hasn't much at all. I haven't seen him at all. So that'll come. Again, the fact is he is allowed around. There will be some level of like physical ramp up for him, but it still does kind of feel far away, and there is not any exact timeline on it. Before we completely tie the bow on it, though, I did mention they play the Wizards Friday night. It is a Jordan Poole return game. It can be wrapped into this Draymond conversation.
Indeed. Apologies, I didn't remember to.
No, it's all good. I talked to Jordan the other day, and I talked to Steve Kerr, Looney, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. Like, it is an interesting return because of how it ended for him, right? Year 3 couldn't have gone any better. Helps them win the title, has an awesome season, signs a big contract. Year 4, I mean, we all know, Draymond punches him, which really snowballs it, Draymond into where he's at right now in this indefinite suspension. That seemed to be the real spark to all this. So I think I think Poole is a little curious, and I think generally the fan base and the organization is curious. Like, what kind of reception does Jordan necessarily get? Because everything went sideways last year. His play did, the situation did. It came to a point this summer where they felt like they had to basically salary dump him. They obviously get Chris Paul from it. But if anyone is actually interested in that subject, I talked to Jordan and all those veterans about the comeback. So go to theathletic.com and they can read it, and we can move off for you.